Hello everyone. Laplace transform, introduction and properties is the topic of this lecture. Laplace transform, like other transforms, Fourier transform, wavelet transform, Z transform are very useful tool in solving the different problems of signal processing, right from differential equation to obtaining the response of a system. So in this lecture, we will introduce Laplace transform, we will define Laplace transform, and we'll understand what are the important properties of Laplace transform. This is very important to understand the properties of Laplace transform also, because when we understand the properties of Laplace transform, we can easily apply different types of transforms in solving and in understanding different types of differential equations and the systems. So let's begin with definition. Laplace transform is a transform that is used to convert a problem for an unknown function into a simpler problem for f that can solve the f, and then we can recover again the signal from the transform domain. It means there is a problem domain, we can convert the problem domain into frequency domain. The analysis becomes much easier, and finally, after analyzing the signal, we can bring back the signal into original domain. So given a known situation like KST and integral transform like this, we apply the integration, right? And let f be defined for t is means positive values of t. The Laplace transform is defined as Laplace of ft, which is written as fs. It is integration from 0 to infinity ft to the power minus st dt. So actually ft is a function which is being converted into Laplace transform. We are calculating Laplace transform of ft, and then e to the power minus st is the operator being used. So this is called as the kernel operator. We can also write it as kst, which is e to the power minus st. So e to the power minus st is being used here as the operator. So the solutions of the linear differential equations with constant coefficients are based on exponential functions, and the Laplace transform is therefore useful for such equations. Means if there are differential equations where there are constant terms, the coefficients are generally constants, but there are number of terms in differential equation, and we want to solve the differential equation, and we want to determine the response of the differential equation. That is possible by converting the entire differential equation into transform domain by using the Laplace transform. So Laplace transform is defined by an improper integral, and therefore that is checked for convergence. What is important is we can compute the Laplace transform only if the integral which we are computing is converging. If it is diverging, we cannot compute that transform. So therefore the condition for convergence in defining the Laplace transform plays significant role. Let's see here, the condition for convergence of the Laplace transform is absolute integrable. It must be integrable. After integration, it must result certain finite value. So look at here, xt e to the power minus sigma t, and the integration must be less than infinity. It must result certain finite value. So range of sigma for which Laplace transform converges, this sigma is termed as region of convergence. So when we talk about the convergence or the condition for convergence, there is a term which comes as ROC, region of convergence. So there is a region of the values of this sigma for which this integration will converge. We can say this is integrable. So integrability is to be checked, and if integrability is valid, we can compute the Laplace transform. So let's further discuss. If a function ft is given that is defined for t is greater than 0, we can compute the Laplace transform, and the operator is denoted by L. So L of ft, which is written as fs, is computed from, because t t is greater than 0, so we can write t equals 0 to infinity ft to the power minus st dt, where this is small s, which is present in the operator, is a complex frequency whose values are selected in such a manner that the semi-infinite integral converges. It means what is important is again the convergence. So Laplace transform is an actually integral transformation of a function or a signal that from the time domain into complex frequency domain. You see here, the signal is given in time domain, but the signal is converted into purely S domain. So the Laplace transform converts the signal from time domain into complex frequency domain. What is complex frequency here? S, that is a small s. All right. So let's take some examples. There is a signal ft which is equal to 2, which is independent of time t, but this is defined for t is greater than or equals 0. Can we calculate the Laplace transform? Yes. Because it is extending from t equals or greater than 0, we can integrate t equals 0 to infinity. What is magnitude? ft2 e to the power minus st. So in place of ft, we can write 2. After integrating e to the power minus st divided by minus s, 2 is constant. The limits of different integral are from 0 to infinity. And when we solve it, we'll get 2 by s. And obviously, s is supposed to be greater than 0, because if s is less than 0, means it's very negative. So this will be negative, and obviously, it must be positive value. Otherwise, also, it is computable. All right. So this is an example. Suppose the signal given is 1 for t is greater than or equals 0. So it becomes 1 upon s. If it is 2, it becomes 2 by s. There is another example. Suppose the signal is e to the power at, an exponential signal. The same thing, it is present for all positive values of t. How will you calculate? How will we determine? In place of ft, we are putting e to the power at, e to the power minus st. We can write e to the power minus of s minus at, where the signal is 0 to b. We can write another variable like b, but which is extending from 0 to b. Otherwise, it is not necessary. We can still write t, and t is extending from 0 to infinity. That's same thing. So when we substitute these after integrating, we'll get 1 divided by s minus a, where s is greater than a. All right, that is the condition for the convergence. So what is the answer? What is the transform of e to the power at? That equals 1 over s minus a. 1 divided by s minus a. The signal is, say, sine at. Sine at can be written in exponential form, or we can directly compute the Laplace transform by integrations. So when we take the Laplace transform sine at, we can write 0 to infinity to the power minus st sine at. So considering first function and second function, we can also calculate the Laplace. Otherwise, very easily we know that sine at can be written as e to the power j at minus e to the power minus j at divided by 2j. By that also we can compute and we'll get the same answer. So if we do by integration, by considering first function and second function, you see here e to the power minus st cosine of at divided by a, that is solving the integration of second and then differentiation of first one, so it is minus s, and then integration of second cosine of at divided by a, and then again we can simplify this as upper limit is your infinity, so that will give you 0, and lower limit is 0. So in that case, it becomes 1 by a, minus 1 by a. And the second one can be written as minus s by a, 0 to infinity e to the power minus st cosine of at. And of course, dt is there. So again, we can apply this, and then we can write, we can solve it, and we'll get like this, where minus s square by a square, this one, right? And this sine at is common, and we actually want to calculate this Laplace of sine at. So Laplace of sine at can be replaced by fs. So this is written as fs. So fs can be written as, because this is also fs, this will go this side, this will become a divided by s square plus a square. But this is much complex process. What is easier is What we can do is that is easy approach. We will write sine AT, right, is equal to, that will give you much easier answer, J AT minus e to the power minus J AT divided by 2J. So like the previous problem, we can calculate very easily. Let's go back. We can compute the Laplace transform very easily, right? Like you see here, we have calculated e to the power AT. So in place of A here, we are getting JA and minus J. And then solving, we'll get the same answer. All right. So the next one, this is the definition of inverse Laplace that applies to all the transform. We calculate the transform and then we bring into frequency domain, complex frequency domain. We want to bring back again into time domain. What we can do, we can calculate the inverse Laplace transform. So this is the Laplace. It converts time domain into frequency domain, and Ft and Fs both are transform pair. So how can we calculate inverse Laplace? We can calculate inverse Laplace by computing the inverse Laplace of Fs, and we will obtain the value S Ft. This is called as inverse Laplace. Let's see one example. We have calculated Laplace of Ft as 4 by S. When we calculate inverse Laplace of this, we'll get a signal Ft, and that will be equal to 4. Similarly, this is one table that represents like K, which is constant. So what is Laplace? K by S for S is greater than 0. When we calculate inverse Laplace, we will get A. So this relationship, it's a kind of this one. Both side arrow we can put. We will calculate the Laplace of K. We will get K by S. When we calculate inverse Laplace of K by S, we will get that K. Similarly, to the power minus Kt, 1 upon S plus K, 1 divided by S plus K. And when we compute inverse Laplace of 1 divided by S plus K, we will get e to the power minus Kt. Similarly, T to the power minus Kt, the Laplace transform gives you 1 divided by S plus K square. And the inverse Laplace transform of this function will give you T multiplied by e to the power minus K into T. Now, can we calculate Laplace of derivative? Suppose there is a derivative. We know the standard definition of Laplace transform as this one, T to Ft to the power minus St. T is extending from 0 to infinity and then integral. And now we are interested to compute the Laplace transform of the first derivative. So we will use the same concept. See here, right? When we use a pen, see here, when we want to calculate the Laplace transform of this, what we will do, in place of Ft, we will write F dash T. Now let us consider the first term and second term and solving by integral. You see here, e to the power minus St, first function. Integration of second will give you the Ft. That is, integration of differentiation will be a function itself. Similarly, the differentiation of first is minus S e to the power minus St. And then again integration is Ft. And minus sign is already there. So this minus minus becomes plus. So when we solve this, you see here infinity, this will make it 0. When we put t equals 0, this will become 1 and this will become your F0. So 0 minus F0 plus S into, you see here, just compare this expression. This expression is nothing but this, which is actually equal to Fs. So in place of this, we can write Fs. So here the Laplace transform of your first derivative is actually SFS minus f of 0, where your SFS, Fs is the Laplace transform of Ft, the normal signal, and your F0 is the initial value of that signal whose Laplace transform is your Ft. All right, so let's go to the next one. See here, second derivative. So how can we calculate the second derivative? We can calculate in the same manner, but let's assume two signal, Ft and Gt. Laplace of Ft is Fs. Laplace of Gt is Gs. Very simple. Now Laplace of F dash t, we have just computed. You see here, let's use pen. Laplace of f dash t, we have just computed as fs minus, here will be s also, sfs minus f0, and Laplace of g dash t will be sgs minus g0. So gt, let's assume gt is f dash t. So your g0 will be f dash 0 and gs will be, what is gs? Gs can be written as s of fsy. Your gs is the Laplace of gt. And what is gt here? F dash t. So Laplace of f, first derivative of ft can be written as sfs minus f0. So Laplace of now g dash t means the derivative of this one, means the second derivative of ft, which can be written as sgs minus g0. What is gs here? Sfs minus. So if you put here s into fs, fs is your, sorry, gs is sfs minus f0 minus your g0 is f dash 0. So when you substitute, we'll get s square fs minus sf0 minus f dash 0. So this is the Laplace transform of second derivative. So in this manner, we can go beyond and we can calculate the Laplace transform of any higher derivative term. Like see, ft, Laplace is fs, first derivative, second derivative, and so on. Third derivative will be s to the power 3 fs, sf0. So we'll write s square f0 minus sf dash 0, because s to the power 2s. So here s to the power 3 minus s square minus s, and last term will be f double dash 0, which is the initial value of the second derivative term. And in this manner, we can calculate the Laplace transform of any higher order derivative. And let's discuss some more problems. Say there is a signal sine kt and its derivative will be k into cosine kt. All right. So, and double derivative will be your cosine kt is minus sine kt. So we can write minus k square sine of kt. So can we calculate the Laplace of double derivative? Double derivative is this one, which is minus k square sine kt. We know is sine kt is k divided by s square plus k square. So it becomes k divided by s square plus k square sine kt. But this can also be written by using this formula, means s square fs minus sf0 minus f dash 0. So what will be the initial value of your the first derivative? It will be k. Here it becomes k, you see here. And what is f0, which is 0 here? So this is 0 multiplied by s. And what is fs? Fs will be k by s square plus k square. So this is s square multiplied by k by s square plus k square. And this is how, and what is your second derivative? Minus k square. So minus k square will go this side, right? And when you simplify it, you will get Laplace of sine kt. But Laplace of sine kt is this. So Laplace of second derivative can also be obtained by this. And this is how we can calculate the Laplace transform sine kt also, by using this expression. And as we have seen, a number of ways in which we can compute the Laplace transform of same signal. We can decompose this signal in terms of exponential signal, or we can solve by integration, or by using this formula also we can compute. This is a table. The Laplace transform of k is k by s. Inverse is k, similarly e to the power minus kt, 1 by s plus k. T multiplied by e to the power minus kt is 1 divided by s plus k square. Sine kt, k by s square plus k square. Cosine kt, s by s square plus k square. We can calculate in the similar manner how we have calculated for the sine kt. We can solve for cosine kt as well. There are some more examples, like there are 3 standard signals you see here. This is a unit step. This is unit exponential signal, exponentially decaying signal, and this is unit impulse. So when we calculate the first one, the signal is extending from 0 to infinity. Magnitude is 1. So when we integrate e to the power minus st, it becomes e to the power minus st divided by minus s. Upper limit is infinity, lower limit is 0, and then it becomes 1 by s. When we multiply e to the power minus at, we have already seen 1 divided by s plus a. So what is important thing is when you calculate the Laplace of ut as a constant 1 by s, so what is the effect of this exponential term? This term, provides the delay you see here. What is the term here? Minus a. So 1 upon s minus a it becomes s plus a or s plus alpha. So that actually gives you the delay in frequency domain. When you multiply the signal in time domain, look at carefully. When you multiply the signal in time domain, means exponential signal in time domain, this constant term is the amount of delay, which is, which results as a delay in frequency domain. Look at here. Now, when we calculate the Laplace transform of impulse, we know that impulse is only defined at t equals 0, and therefore, in the magnitude is 1. So it is only defined at 1. So the integration will be 1. So the Laplace of impulse signal is also 1. This is one table. Sin omega t, Laplace is omega divided by s square plus omega a square. Cosine s divided by s square plus omega a square. T multiplied by to the power minus 80. 1 divided by s plus a square. In fact, the effect of t is, we will see later, whenever t is multiplied by any signal, the frequency domain is, it becomes multiplication multiplied by the same term. So it becomes s square in place of s. And because of e to the power minus 80, there is a delay. So s plus a. Otherwise, if it is t into constant, so it will be 1 upon s square. But because of minus 8, the s is becoming s plus a. Similarly, we know that sin omega t. What is sin omega t? Omega by s plus a. And because of this, s plus a is s plus s square plus omega a square. But because of this delay, this becomes s plus a square. That same effect is in cosine, s plus a divided by s plus a square plus omega a square. If there is no amount of delay, means there is no exponential term, the delay will be automatically removed. So this is delay. S minus of minus a becomes s plus a, like that. Now, if there are different waveforms which are given and we are asked to compute the Laplace transform, we can decompose the signal. Like, see here, this is the same step signal. We cannot call it as a unit step signal because the magnitude is k. So the step signal, which is beginning from a, the signal is delayed by a. We can write this signal as k ut minus a, that equals 0 when t is less than a, see here, and when t is greater than a, the signal is equal to k. So we can also calculate Laplace